Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing lovely. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be like a chill, winding down, kind of get on ready with me, even though I've already washed my face and took all of my makeup off. We're going to be doing skincare. Obviously, I'm not going to be talking you through it because I've already done a video on that. So if you haven't watched that, go and watch it. It's on my page. I think it was not last week's video, the one before that, so it's not far away. But yeah, welcome to today's video. Please do like and subscribe if you're new here, and let's get straight on to it. So if I sound a little bit funny, it's because I'm a little bit ill. I think I've got an ear infection, and at the start of the day I thought it was just in this ear. However, this side, it's more like all of my face as well, so I just thought like my face was aching a little bit, but now it's like in my ear. And for some reason I just always get ear infections anytime I'm ill. I usually, like yesterday afternoon, I started to get a sore throat, and I thought, oh, we're getting ill, because I just always have a sore throat first. But for some reason I just always get ear infections. Like I've already had a double ear infection, is what I like to call it, an ear infection in both ears at the start of the year. So I don't know why it's come back, but it's not fun. I also, like, my nose keeps running. My throat's not so bad, but it's always worse in the morning. It feels like there's a golf ball, like times 10 in my throat. It's not painful, but it just feels like I can't breathe properly, so that's always fun. And I've also got a massive headache, so that's great. But I still want to try to be consistent and get this video out for you guys tomorrow. So the game's the game. We gotta crack on, do you know what I mean? Yes, I'm just going to do my skincare while I was talking about a few different topics, and also getting diagnosed with autism and ADHD, because Heather Bolin, the Queen, inspired me to, because I feel like it's not really spoken about enough, really. I mean, there's loads and loads and loads of videos on TikTok, but I just want to kind of talk to you guys about my experience if you're like looking to get diagnosed or think you may have it, or somebody you know. I just want to cover it. Now, typical me, I saw a TikTok the other day, and it was like expectations versus reality, and it was an iPad, all makeup around it with Molly May on it, swipe to reality, and it was just the Bob boys with makeup like while she's getting ready. And I literally, when I say anytime I'm at home and Ginge, Jakey, Chazza, Taze or Beano is live, Beano not so much, if you watch the Bob Boys you get it, but if any of them are live, they're just on in the background whether I'm watching them or not. And currently I've just got Ginge and Beano. I'm actually not sure what they're doing, but they're there anyway, just for a little bit of support, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I honestly watch them 24/7. I just love the Bob Boys, they're actually just great. Yeah, so how's everyone doing today? When I'm filming this, it is the 16th of May. I have had my little cousin's communion today. She looks so gorgeous, bless her. So that was fun. Saw the fam. Got a bit overstimulated at the end and had to leave, but because I'm not feeling well as well, anytime, like, I'm fine. Usually if I don't feel well, I feel it 10 times. I don't know why, even if it's the smallest like bit. I'm just so, I just exaggerate a little bit, but like I don't know why, I just feel it so intensely. But it sounds so pick me, but I actually hate the attention. I actually just hate any kind of attention, to be honest with you. But yeah, so when I feel ill, I just don't like leaving the house, to be honest. And then I woke up this morning, I mean last night I literally felt like I couldn't breathe. I don't know why, but it was probably because I could just feel it coming, do you know what I mean? Okay, the weekend, feel it coming. But yeah, so I just, when I'm ill, I just don't really like to, and like, I mean, first world problems, do you know what I mean? But I mean, it's not really first world problems, but like everybody does it. But like I've been at work all week, and then like feeling run down and stuff like that. I just needed a minute to myself. But I've now got the evening. I want to watch a film where like, not like, I don't know, I just want to get so engrossed in it that I feel like I'm in the film. I mean, if any of you guys have autism or ADHD, well it's more autism, but like you feel like you get engrossed in the film anyway, you just feel like you become a part of it, that you research it so much and you actually just make your own character up in your head for you to fit into the storyline. A little bit crazy, but if anyone else can relate, then please do let me know, because I know I'm not the only one. alright Sam Smith, bloody hell, like get me to the Brits. But I know I'm actually not the only one, because I was speaking to another one of my clients the other day and she said that she was literally the same. So it was actually great. We was just talking the holy time, right? The whole time. Any chance of this coming out here? Oh, we was talking the whole time about our interests, and it was great because, again, if you have any of the clue, you find yourself, I'd say it's more like autism, but like if you have something you're so passionate and interested about, you could go on it for literally months and months and months, and it becomes your whole personality. And obviously people have interests. This is the thing, one thing that I really find hard. I was actually going to save this until the end of the video, but you know what, we can just get straight bang wham into it. Don't know what that was. But this is one of the things that I personally struggle with, or have struggled with, now that I'm diagnosed as a 19-year-old girl, soon to be, well, I say soon to be, I'll be 20 in July. But obviously I will talk to you guys in a minute about the whole process and stuff, but if I don't tell you now, I'm going to lose my train of thought. But that's one thing that I personally have found really, really difficult and really hard, because once you've got the diagnosis, once you know what it is, you can kind of breathe. But for me, like other people might not be able to relate, let me know if you do, but for me it's almost then I'm like, well, now anytime something happens, yes, I can be like, oh, I am overstimulated because of this, or like I know why I'm feeling ways, which does help massively. But then in certain situations, I'm not very vocal about it anyway, I'm more just like go back into my shell. But like in them situations, and if I do find myself talking about something, or I say like, oh, like it's not because of this, but like I don't know how to word it, it's really hard, but like you feel like you're constantly using it as like a, I've got ADHD, or like I've got autism, like not as like a, I don't know, but like you're not trying to use it as an excuse, like, because now in my brain that I know it's because of this, that's my way of thinking, it's because of this. But then I feel like when I say it like that, it's like you're trying to use it as an excuse, and it's like not in any way, shape or form. But I don't know, that's just how I personally feel. So please do let me know if anyone else feels the same, because I now feel like, not that I can't say anything, because like I said, I can more just go back into my shell anyway, but yeah, I just feel like I can't actually say, oh, well, it's because of this. Again, not that I really do, but I don't know, I feel like it's a bit more like I can't. But yeah, so let me know if anyone else feels the same, because I feel like that's something that's not really spoken about a lot, because it's more just like, oh, like the weight off your shoulders, like it's because of this, like all these things have happened because of this. But then you feel like in any situation where it's because you are autistic, or you have got you've got ADHD, you feel like you can't even say it's because of that, when it is because you don't want to seem as if you're using it as an excuse. So it's great. I wasn't really going to make this like whole video about it, but it probably will end up being about it, to be honest, because I could go on and on about it for ages. Also, I'm in desperate need of a restock of this. I still have not got any, so this is probably not even going to get much out of it. If any of you guys are wanting to get diagnosed, or know somebody that might want to get diagnosed, tell them. I mean, one of the main reasons why I was put off for quite a few months was because I was like, I don't want to wait years to know, do you know what I mean? So like, it was one of those things. And also, if you have any, you know that the executive dysfunction, it's actually so bad. Okay, sun came out. But yeah, so you know that the executive dysfunction is actually just unreal some days, like it's awful. So that kind of like was one of the reasons why I didn't. And if anybody doesn't know, executive dysfunction is basically where your brain just like physically won't let you get up and do things. It could be the most important thing in the world, but if your brain's like no, or like you just physically can't get up and do it, there's no way that you're getting up to do it. I mean, I personally find that anyway. Some people may be able to push through it, but unfortunately me over here, I can't. But yeah, so it can be quite tough some days. But so yeah, if anybody's wanting to get diagnosed, I would honestly do it. Like, whether the outcome is you are on the spectrum or you aren't, I feel like there isn't any shame in it. I mean, I personally don't have any shame in it because I have family members that are on the spectrum, and to me it's just always been normal, and I don't think it should be like, I don't know, because it shouldn't be, I'm trying to think of the word, like, you shouldn't look down. Like, why is it such, not such a big deal, but like, why would it make people look at you any different? Do you know what I mean? And of course they're going to look at you in a different way, because I mean, personally for me, I don't think much of my family have, to be honest with you. Especially like my mum, like we know, let's be real. But like, it's, I don't know, it obviously is very life-changing for some people, but to me it was just like, I sent myself in such a spiral, like for months, researching different symptoms, and like, because it's so different in women to men and boys to girls, like it's just mental, and it's still so heavily under researched. Like, so like a lot of female things are under researched. But yeah, so I would book an appointment with your GP or your doctors, and ask them to go through something called the right to choose, which you don't have to pay for. It's all free. However, the NHS have to pay out more for it, which is why they don't tell you, which I think is again wrong. But the waiting times are so much shorter. I mean, personally I don't really know for children, because again, I'm not a child. I did go through the adult services, obviously. I think they are longer, but they're still going to be quicker than like the normal NHS waiting times. But yeah, so all in all, I booked my doctor's appointment, and then from the doctor's appointment, I would recommend you choosing the company before you go to your appointment. If you don't know what the right to choose is, it's basically where it's literally what it's called, you have the right to choose. So you pick the companies or company if you're just looking into one or the other. I was obviously looking into both. You can pick the same company for both, but I think they're obviously limited, but I personally went for 2 different for both. But again, you can pick whatever you like. There's a list on the Right to Choose website, and it has waiting times, if it's ADHD, waiting times for medication, or like, yeah, there's just loads of information on there, so you pick what you find is best suited for you, which is amazing. Obviously, I think when I remember reading on there before, there's different waiting times for different areas, so they, again, you just look, you pick what's best for you. If it says the specific area that you're in is going to take longer, then maybe you should go with another company, but again, the choice is yours. It's all up to you, basically. But yeah, so I went with, for ADHD, I went with a company called Harrow Health. Personally, for me, they've been amazing. And then for the autism side, I went with Atron Mind Care, I'm pretty sure. I'll put them up on the screen anyway. And all in all, from the first doctor's appointment to the last diagnosis, it took 6 weeks, which is incredible. So in 4 weeks, I'd got the autism diagnosis after I'd filled out the form, sent that off, had the calls with them. Then on 4 weeks, I got that diagnosis, and then there was a bit of a longer waiting time for the assessment or the call with the ADHD company. But again, 6 weeks is incredible. I know somebody who it took them 5 years to get diagnosed with autism just through the NHS, which is mental. But yes, I would highly recommend going through the Right to Choose. It's all on the NHS. If you are looking to get diagnosed. But yeah, I feel like, again, what I was saying before, like, it can be such a weight off of your shoulders. I mean, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details on why I got diagnosed and like different stuff like that, but I just know, like, obviously when you think stuff and you see stuff, it starts coming up everywhere. And like I said, I've always had like people on the spectrum in my family, so like I just kind of picked up and I was like, actually I relate to them a lot. I relate to them a lot. And I would constantly be like, I do have it, I don't have it, I do have it, I don't have it. So when I did get the diagnosis, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulder, but I also wasn't that surprised. And you kind of, I was trying to explain it to somebody the other day and they actually explained it perfectly, I think, for me. They said it's almost as if, I don't know, because she said to me, it's almost as if you grieve your childhood. And I don't grieve my childhood, but you kind of grieve what you could have had as a childhood, or especially for me from secondary school upwards. Obviously it's something you are born with and you always have it, you don't just really develop it, I don't believe, anyway. I could be wrong, Harley, when you're editing this, fact check it. But yeah, like obviously I've always suffered with it, but from secondary school upwards it's just got like worse as such. So I just knew, like when you know your own body, you know your own mind, like it's just something you do have to live with. And like I said, Heather Bolin, she's obviously so open and so like, just like, I don't know, like she's so comforting when she talks about it, because she is just like, she's just normal, but like the way that she talks about it and the way that she describes it, it's so refreshing to see. And one of my biggest pet peeves, when I was speaking about it to a few people, the worst thing the worst thing you could say to somebody who's looking to get diagnosed, has been diagnosed, is everybody's got a little bit of something. Because my answer to that is, if everybody had a little bit of something, there would be no spectrum. You couldn't be on the spectrum. It would just be normal. Do you know what I mean? Like, not everyone has a little bit of something, and it drives me insane. Because just because you like to do like one thing a certain way doesn't mean you're autistic. Or just because you actually you didn't like that loud noise doesn't mean you're autistic. And I hate that it's become a trendy thing to have ADHD as well, because if you truly had it and you truly suffered with it, it's not a trendy thing actually. It's actually quite opposite to that. So yeah, please don't say that. If you're watching this and you've said it, live from it, learn from it. But not everybody has it, and it's the worst thing you can ever say to somebody that has been diagnosed, especially, or looking to get diagnosed. Because if somebody had said that to me, especially when I was looking to get diagnosed, you almost just feel like, well, what the hell? Like, why are we doing this? Because not everybody has it. Otherwise, like I just said, it wouldn't be a thing. Like, yeah, I feel like it's not really changed my life in many ways, because like I said, I just knew that it was going to happen. I knew that that was going to be the outcome. Again, there was a lot of shock for some people in the fam, but like my mum, who I live with and see every day, and my sister, we already know, me and her, we just like, but yeah, I don't feel like it was a shock to me. But again, like I kind of briefly said earlier, you do almost then think like, I'll feel sorry for your younger self, because you're like, if somebody noticed, maybe it was picked up on a little bit, like, but again, it's so under researched that actually when you do things a certain way, or you don't do things because of this or because of that, you just get called a lazy gal, or you just get like honestly, it's just mental. Like, if anyone's watching this who I went to school with, they would know my attendance was so bad, and now I can look back and be like, it was because of this, it was because of this. Again, not getting into the nitty-gritties, but like everyone used to always say to me, you're so lucky to have so many days off, and I'd be like, I'd laugh it off. But actually, you don't know the mornings that I've had every single day for the past 5 years of my life refusing to come into school, actually. And on the days where I win, that's because my parents are just like, I can't deal with you anymore. So actually, no. yeah, I'm not lucky. I've forced and argued and thingied my way here. Do you know what I mean? If anyone else can relate, then let me know. But honestly, I used to be like, no, no one's lucky in this situation. Actually, far from it, to be honest. Yeah, if you would like me to do like a longer video or the signs, I mean, I'd be happy to go into a little bit of the signs that I found in myself, especially as a young adult. Like, one thing that I will say is from the autism call, the guy was so lovely, like so lovely. I'd highly recommend them. He said to me that the reason, I mean, because he did say I was close to autistic burnout. Slightly. The burnout is real, like I've already had it, babes. But he said to me, you have found that you've got older. I'm 19, and he said to me, you now struggle so much more, and it's come to light and become so more apparent because you're having to be put in these social situations because you're now an adult and you have to do this and you have to do that. So that's when it really starts to show, or that's my personal thing, that's when I've really started to struggle and be like, actually, I don't like making phone calls. And to somebody else it's a phone call, just call them, what the hell, just make that appointment. But for me, I'm planning it 3 days before. I'm like, I'll call them at this time on this day and I'll say this and I'll say that. And sometimes saying it out loud isn't, like, it doesn't do it justice on how mentally draining and exhausting and physically exhausting it can be as well, because it's not only so much on your mental body, but if you're go all the time from the ADHD side and you feel like you've constantly got to be doing something and your brain just actually can't chill, it becomes physically exhausting, and like it becomes so mentally exhausting. It goes on to your physical, like you get headaches, you feel so drained, like you can't be bothered to get up to do anything, which is what I said, like the executive dysfunction. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right. But yeah, like there's so many social situations now where I'm like, I don't want to do it. Sometimes saying it out loud, like I just said, it makes it seem not like nothing, but it sounds a bit stupid sometimes when you say it out loud. Like, what do you mean you can't ring somebody? Or like, I'm planning, one thing for me is, since I've been driving, like I plan my parking like 3 weeks more in advance if I know where I'm going. And if that parking spot that I've planned to park in is not available, I'd rather turn around and come home. And it's not even funny, because that is how I genuinely feel. Like, sometimes I can laugh and brush it off and like, I'm going home, and that is literally how I feel. Like, I'd rather go home, because now the planning that I've had and what I've expected to happen hasn't, and it's just flipped like that. Over a parking space, yes, but if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But it's just, and again, it sounds stupid saying it out loud, but unfortunately this is what autistic people or ADHD people have to go through literally every day, and it's not something you can turn on and off. Yes, you have good days, yes, you have bad days, but the bottom line is the problems are still there, and the bad days are just where things don't go right that you've planned. But actually, the good days you still mentally prepared for, because you're going to be in this social situation, or there's going to be this many people there, or this music's going to be there. You've still mentally prepared and gone through all that draining mental strategy, and it's all just gone right, but you're still mentally, I don't know, it's so hard to explain, honestly. But anybody that does have it, if you want to message me, honestly, go ahead. You can message me on Instagram if you've got any questions, because I'm like, I could honestly talk about it for ages. But if you are looking to get diagnosed, please just go to your doctors and say, I'm looking to get diagnosed with this, I want to go through the right to choose. Those words will change your life forever. If you find out you have it, if you don't, you don't. If you do, you do. And you can learn to live a little bit differently. I mean, for me, it's still processing it, because again, that's something that we struggle with. It's processing things. It takes a while. I literally got diagnosed over a month ago, and I'm still processing it. My camera battery died. Sorry, Ginge, you're gonna have to go on mute for a minute, but I'm using you as a torch. Oh, listen, head on. Anyway, I thought my camera battery would last the whole time, but apparently it didn't, and it ended up dying. Whoa, a bit bright now. But yeah, I wanted to touch a little bit more. I wasn't really happy with it where the conversation ended there. But I feel like I remember watching Heather Bowling's video on her, like, she briefly went over the topic of neurodivergent girls, and you know how how sometimes she'll struggle with it, and like how she struggles with it, not how sometimes she feels that's like wrong. But she also like went through the process of obviously how she got diagnosed, and like who told her, which was Mikey, and you know, all these different things. But she also had a question, which was like a 17-year-old girl who really just like, I don't know, her family had basically been wanting to get her diagnosed. She was 17, I don't know if I just said that, but she said that she was taking it really hard because she just felt like as if she was being told everything that she does isn't normal. And I feel like that's why it needs to be like spoken about more. My dog is playing with this stone. I feel like it needs to be spoken about more, and like that's why I want to that's why I want to normalize it, because it is normal. Like, this is what people have to live with daily, you know. Not everybody is the same, which obviously it would be a hell of a boring world if it was, let me tell you that for free. But yeah, I feel like it is hard, and it is again hard to process, because as an autistic person you do struggle to process things as it is, let alone actually, you know, processing that you almost feel a little bit like your whole life has not been a lie, because that again is the wrong way of putting it, but it kind of briefly does describe it well, because actually you've just thought that you were different, or you thought you were weird, or not saying that you are weird, but like, I don't know, that is just naturally how your brain thinks, because maybe not everybody else around you does these same ways or has the same struggles as you, and you feel everything intensely. You do just feel like you stick out like a sore thumb, and again it's really hard to process and really help really hard to understand, but actually that's why it needs to be spoken about more. And like the Queen Heather Bowling, if anybody who's watching this is again thinking about getting diagnosed, has just been diagnosed, or has been diagnosed for a while, then us girlies just got to stick together. I feel like if this helps at least one person to feel like actually maybe I'm not different, or you know, or maybe I will get tested, like, and don't feel ashamed about it. There should be no ashamed in it, and actually not embrace it a little bit, because it is really hard, like really hard, and it's just something you have to live with. Unfortunately, it's also the like acceptance and the processing of it's not going away. You just got to learn to live with it, which is a little bit like a lot of things in life, like grief, etc. But when it's something that's so mentally exhausting, damaging, and like them trying to mask it every day, because in women you do typically mask it more, which again is what the guy said to me on the phone. If you keep continuing to mask it and actually changing who you are around different people and stuff, it's so mentally exhausting. And you might think, oh, like, how can you even change yourself that much around people? But even to the point of, hold on, I'm just moving my lights, even to the point of like, sometimes it's so intense that I'll even change what I like and I don't like, and like that's ridiculous, because why would you say you like something if you don't? But even it just makes life simpler to, well, that's just what my brain has like been programmed to do my whole life, is just change who I am, which is quite sad really, because I feel like I never fully unmask, which is probably why I stay up so late, so I can just be on my own, watch the Bob Boys or the Sidemen, and just I don't have to, not impress someone, but it almost feels like you're auditioning every single time you meet someone new. I feel like that in every situation, which is quite draining. It can be quite draining, and we're getting real deep here, which again I don't really like doing. I don't really like. Ginger's just ended this stream. We're back crying. Who else is live that we can watch? Oh great, Benno. We can watch Benno. But like I said before, if you are somebody who thinks that it's a quirky thing, or you've said before that you think you might have it because of one thing, then please just take this as a lesson to not, because not that I'm out here teaching lessons as if I'm some teacher, but as coming from somebody who literally who struggles to live some days and struggles and has autism and ADHD, it's not nice to hear at all. And you feel like almost, I don't know, I feel like since I've been diagnosed, I've become so like, not protective over it, but I feel like where I've looked into it and researched it for months and months and months, I know everything so well that I have kind of become protective over it. And because I've now learned that this is because of this, or I struggle because of this, I don't like certain situations because I'm feeling this way. When somebody who has just struggled not struggled a day in their life, but who has a symptom of it, takes it to the extreme, and it's like, no, like it isn't a word you can just throw around lightly. Like it's not like, it's not a quirky thing, which Heather did. I feel like this video is just talking about this in Heather. I love Heather, queen, clock it. But Heather did say that in her video it's not a quirky thing. It actually can disadvantage you in many situations, whether that's social or just with family members. Like it's not quirky. So like I said, if you're somebody who thinks it's quirky and fun, then you probably don't have it, I'm not gonna lie to you. Or if you can actually use it as something that's, you know, it I don't know, if you can use it in a positive way, then good for you. But if you haven't fully been diagnosed and you take it and you throw it about and you're not actually that serious, just be careful who you're doing it around and who to, because it can be very, not damaging, but it can be taken quite not great. So if anybody has any questions, please message me on my Instagram, follow me whilst you're there too, or over on my TikTok. But yeah, you're not strange, you're not different, you're not normal, your brain's just wired a little bit differently, so please don't think any different to that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in next week's video. Bye.